Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Spicy Noodles podcast, where you get to hear our takes on today's hot topic. I'm Calvin.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jinjie.
And then I'd like to introduce our first guest speaker, who is strongly in touch with today's topic. Why don't you introduce yourself for us?
Hey, I'm David. I'm the bottom frogger, usually whenever we're playing with Jason in Valorant and he streams. That's pretty much the only thing he calls me.
Alright, so now for today's topic, we are covering a much lighter topic than our last two episodes, but I don't want you out there to lower your expectations because we're still bringing the high-grade talk to all our good noodles out there. So today's topic is childhood video games and what they contributed to us. First off, I'll start by talking about Pokemon. Then Jason will follow up with Super Smash Bros. Jinjie will discuss two games, Club Penguin and Wizard 101. Then David will finish us off with Sonic the Hedgehog. So, let's dive right in. My first video game was Pokemon Diamond, and ever since I had fallen deeply in love with the game. And throughout my childhood, Pokemon had inspired a sense of deep and natural curiosity in the sciences. Biology, ecology, geology, archaeology, all that stuff you can find in a Pokemon game, and I'd like to say it made a big contribution to the stuff that I study right now. And I'd say it does a fantastic job of inspiring and a strong appreciation for nature, as it shows the beauty of life anywhere. Not only that, it teaches you at a young age that you can find adventure anywhere, in the woods, in deep caves, the seaside, even in the inner cities. And I'd like to think that it also teaches how to learn. There's a lot of rules, but when you learn them, they stick with you for life. So, I'm going to open up the floor to the rest of my fellows here. Let's start with some simple questions. What's a favorite Pokemon game for you guys? Got any favorites?
First, I just want to toss that in. That was the most beautiful description of Pokemon I have ever heard. Like, if I was explaining it, I would just snatch up these cool little monsters, and then I'm just gonna train them to battle for me. Cause I don't know how you explained it that way. That was great.
Thank you.
Specifically, with me, I guess my favorite one in the series. Okay, so Sun and Moon is gonna hold a special place in my heart because it's the first game where I got competitive, and that means just like breeding for like hours and hours and hours. And otherwise than that, I have to say the one with Garatina in it. I can't
Platinum.
remember. Platinum? I loved Platinum. I just love the aspect where you got to go to another dimension and then you met Giratina for the first time, because I had not seen that in a Pokemon game before, and I just thought that was really cool.
Jason, how about you?
So my first Pokemon game was when I went to a GameStop when I was like really little, and I got like a used copy of like Pokemon Gold, I believe, and I played it for the first time, and it was like really cool. But I feel like the first Pokemon game that I really got into was Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Game Boy. The thing about me is that I kind of played it in like order. I didn't start off with just Pokemon Diamond, you know, which is what most people in our generation would have started off with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I started getting into competitive probably around middle school. So yeah, it really showed me like a lot of the responsibility that you'd have to take as a gamer, I guess.
What about you,
Alright.
David?
For me, it's like a three-way tie because I love Pokemon Diamond, Emerald, and Fire Red because Fire Red got me into the series, and Emerald introduced one of my favorite Pokemon, Rayquaza, and I mean it's where I actually became competitive because I was going up against my older brother, who would like Palkia better than Dialga. I love the series. I've always followed it. I don't know why, but I think a large amount of the is sort of skipped the 5th generation, Black and White and Black and White 2.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like black and white is actually where I stopped for a long time because I got little Tepig and then I evolved him and I was like, this is the ugliest little thing. And when it became like it started standing on two legs, I was like, this is not what I signed up for, and I just couldn't. And then that was the trash Pokemon one, right? That was where the trash Pokemon came up. I was like, I'm done. I cannot like black and white no more
Hey,
for a while.
I think Trubbish is pretty cool.
Well, I actually really
it's
like
cool.
Black and White.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the newer Pokemon games are actually not as good.
Yeah. I can agree with that
Yeah,
sentiment.
I can agree.
I liked how David you brought up that your favorite Pokemon was Rayquaza, or I'm probably saying that wrong, but I always said Rayquaza.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good question. Like Calvin, what's your favorite Pokemon? Then we can go round circle.
It's a really hard choice, but I often find myself gravitating a lot towards a lot towards the humbler creatures, like Pyukumuku. Yeah, it's a sea cucumber with a fist, and it's not even that strong if you consider a lot its place in the competitive Pokemon fighting, but it's got a lot of character, and you can really appreciate something like that in Pokemon, where creativity in their Pokemon designs is, I think, a major factor which drew me in.
I feel my favorite starter would probably have to be Greninja. I know it sounds really cliche, and Greninja's kind of like that one starter that's the Charizard of that region, but
Oh yeah, definitely.
I liked him before anyone else started. I liked him before he became cool. I'm gonna just put that out there. I liked him
Yeah.
before he became cool.
Honestly,
Okay.
And
Everyone-
Kind of like a hipster, but okay.
I have a lot of other favorite Pokemon, but I feel that he's probably at my top of the list right now.
all right. Oh yeah, speaking of the top of the list, let's move on to our next game. Jason, you said you wanted to talk about Super Smash Brothers.
So I wanted to talk about Smash because at university that we currently go to, I'm really involved in the competitive scene there, and I mainly play the second game in the series. It's called Super Smash Brothers Melee, but there's been like around 4 or 5 other entries in the series, with everyone kind of starting at a different time. Everyone always has like that first game that they play to get introduced to the series, but I feel like I'm really lucky because I was able to start at the very first game. I remember playing the first game in the series at like a relative's house, and I kind of just went in order, and I feel that was the best way to go about it, because I went through each game, I saw each game for what it was, and then I just chose one that I believe to be the best one. But obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion. But which Smash game would you guys say is your favorite?
Oh, yeah. So before we start off on our own opinions, did you mention which game was your favorite?
Yeah, so the second one, Super Smash Bros. Melee, is my favorite one.
Mhm.
Because not only do you have to there's so much stuff in the game that you have to learn, but there's so much about this game that has taught me real life lessons as well. You have to learn so much tech in the game, but to be able to play the game outside of the game, you gotta actually be big brain.
Hashtag big brain.
It's interesting because I hear that you get a lot more of that in Melee compared to a lot of the other entries in the Super Smash Bros. Series. Usually, when I hear people talk about Super Smash Bros. Compared to other fighting games, they like to liken the more modern entries into Super Smash Bros. More like party games compared to Super Smash Bros. Melee. What would you say really sets Super Smash Bros. Melee apart from the rest of the Smash Bros. Entries?
I think it's the community. It's probably the creativity that goes into the game. Just there's a lot of game mechanics that were overlooked in the design that allowed the players to be able to kind of craft the game into their very own. Also, Nintendo is not really the greatest video game company ever to back up their own gaming communities. Unlike other companies like, Blizzard and Overwatch, they kind of feed money into that system. Whereas I really like the community behind the game, and the game itself compared to other games and other esports as well is very different because other games, it's super convenient and it's super easy. You can just hop online, play a game online, but playing Melee kind of forces you're forced to be in the same room, in the same place as your other competitors. And in this day and age with all this technology, and the power of the internet, people aren't always getting like that face-to-face interaction that people back in the day used to always get. And I feel like that's something that's really unique about the Smash community.
A little bit of background for Super Smash Bros. Melee. It's a second entry, and it is for, what was it? It was the Nintendo...
It was released for the Nintendo GameCube in 2001.
And it is a rather old game. And usually, whenever they play it off of CRTs, right?
Yep, we have to tournaments run with the cathode ray TVs.
So it's a very old game, and people have to play with the game's certain nuances. And something that I find personally admirable about that is that the difference between beginners and experts can be quite noticeable, because in order to push the game past its traditional limits, you need to take advantage of those nuances and those little technical details in order to exploit the full possibility. And it's not game breaking. If anything, it enhances the game. And the kind of dedication required to pull those off requires exactly what Jason has promoted: strong community and a devotion to mastering the craft.
So Melee is like the one that looks really glitchy, right?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, great. I just wanted to know. I was like,
Jinjie, you've seen me play it.
I know, I just forgot the name. I just know it's the really glitchy one.
Wow.
I'm just wondering.
Calvin just explained everything about Melee, and he used it to summarize it down like, it's the glitchy one, right?
I was like, what?
It's like,
Yeah.
it's
Go
like
ahead.
my mom, whenever I tell her something, and then she just summarizes it down to like one word so she can remember it.
Yeah.
It.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, cathode ray TV tube. I don't know what that is. I was like, okay, cool.
Cathode ray TV too.
For the rest of us, we've also played our own games of Super Smash Bros. I myself really hopped into it with Super Smash Bros. 4, and then into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where I have been a strong fighter with zoners and usually a lot of those DLC characters that weren't really there beforehand. I'm a very strong Duck Hunt main, and you can probably hear David's opinion on that next. What about you, David? What games do you play? Do you got a main?
Okay, well, in Smash 4, I didn't really have a true main. I was just going around trying to see. I always switch off depending on what week it was. With Rob, Zero Suit. Then I was the only main two. Then in Ultimate, I like maining Infinite War and King K. Rool. I find them both really fun to play as, and I really don't like playing with a lot of projectiles. Alvin.
Yeah.
Understood.
Jinjie, do you have any Smash Bros. Experience yourself?
I got into the game by playing Brawl on the Wii in my middle school gaming club, and man, I spent so many hours every day of the week for 7th and 8th grade that my eyesight went to poo. That my eyesight actually got ruined because of that game. But then it was so fun because I just like learning it and then being able to eventually beat everyone. And that was really fun. So I guess my main at the time for that game was Snake, Ike. I used Snake and Ike a heck a ton. And okay, Ducky's making a face, but regardless. I mean, Jason's making a face. Regardless. You can edit that, Colin. But yeah, so it was Snake. I also used Sonic and Olimar. I used to play around a lot more with the characters. And then I got into Ultimate because of Jason and him having the game in uni. And that was really fun because I would only play Ike because Snake was not the same at all. And I literally only played Ike. And then one of our mutual friends, we'll call him Honeywheat, one night, literally it was 5 hours, from like 11 p.m. to 4 in the morning. Like, he literally just fought me with Bowser the whole time. He fought Bowser for those 5 hours, and I was Pink Yoshi. And I was so determined. I won once out of the 5 hours. But because of that, I learned how to use Yoshi and Bowser pretty well. That was a pretty fun experience. I don't know if you want to add anything on that, Jason, or not.
Whoa. Me and Calvin were literally in the room sleeping for class the next day when this was happening. So
Yeah. If any of you listeners are incoming freshmen to college, there's nothing more that I can recommend than a good set of earplugs. It will help you get through the night.
And also try not to room with gamers. Most likely stay up past 12.
Yeah.
I do not remember a night where I early.
I mean, I didn't even room with Jason. I literally just barged into the room every day. So
I don't know about you, David, but me and Calvin living at uni, we don't really stay up that late too often. So I say we're pretty good gamers at that.
Yeah. Though not the best sparring partners, I'd imagine. I could never really get down into Super Smash Bros. Melee.
It's hard to find people that play.
Alright,
And speaking of having a situation where it's hard to find people to play, let's move on to Jinjie's topic.
excuse me, tons of people play Club Penguin and Wizard 101. What are you talking about? But
Well, they're both rather old, aren't they?
Oh, it's Melee.
that's true. That's true. David, you tell him. You tell him right there. I'll agree with that. So is Melee. Man. Okay, I said this in the first episode. I'm gonna repeat this again. The Club Penguin community is vibrant. And Wizard 101, I actually don't know, but regardless, I guess like my stories are kind of different from you guys. I actually want to talk about some experiences I had when I was a kid. Like literally these two games really like shaped me as a human being, and that can be for the better or the worse. I guess I'll start with like Club Penguin. I don't know. So I guess like if none of you guys play Club Penguin, like have any of you guys?
Yeah,
I
I have some stories about it. I have some
Play a
stories.
better game called Webkins.
You mean Webkins? Webkins is great too, but I don't know if it's better. Well, okay, maybe. But Club Penguin has a special
Maybe
place
it
in my
was.
heart. Even though they got like, I guess what I want to talk about is like how Club Penguin has like this low key like prostitution ring system that like once you play for a while, you kind of notice it, and once you start like talking with other people, you notice it. I don't know. Maybe that's like wild, but oh yeah. What's up, Calvin?
Whoops. Calvin, you go first then.
Yeah, sure, we'll do. I've got a quick question before we go any further. What the fuck?
Oh, it's perfectly timed. Yeah.
Okay, well, I also have a question as well. This like the before version of like hiring an e-girl or like to be your GF on VR chat.
Oh my god. Oh my
Like,
god.
This the
So-
before? Is this like the predecessor?
Well, I'm sure that that's where people got some of their first relationships, in Club Penguin, boyfriend, girlfriend, GF, BF. But it's like, so the system is you would just walk around, maybe the town square, or you just really go in. It was mainly like the place with the nightclub and the gift shop and the coffee shop, right? And people would just not people, penguins would basically sit there, like just anywhere there, and they would flash the heart emoji. And yeah,
like a straight up hooker.
yeah, like I'm not like
What?
literally straight up hooker. They would flash the heart emoji, and I guess for people, imagine you're a kid, you're just looking at that, and like you'll just be like, oh, that's cute, that's sweet. But like if you actually were to go up to the penguin and you flash the heart emoji back, they would be like, want to go to my igloo, and then you would just go to their igloo, and then you would just sit on a couch or something, and then like you would like take off all your Club Penguin clothes. And then you would just sit on the couch and like constantly flash the heart emoji. I experienced that once and was like, wow, this is never happening again. I'm leaving. Because I saw that message, I thought it was like, oh, they're just like they're having like an igloo party. So I went to the guy's igloo, like when he flashed the message, and I just saw these two penguins on. But anywho,
What the
yes, comments,
fuck?
yes, David.
Okay, so
What the
just want to
fuck?
make sure you didn't accidentally find like secret like like pedophile ring or grooming ring, right? And accidentally
I'm
find
sure
that.
it is, but I did. I don't know. I just saw it and I was like, "This is not my scene," and I left.
I think we
As
should.
a-
I think you should probably call the police, or at least a tip to the FBI telling that this is happening in a children's game.
To be honest,
Okay,
I'm
just
not
say-
even surprised that that kind of stuff is happening in a fucking children's game. Like, that's like the prime spot for any weirdo like that to go to. Like, honestly. And
Yeah,
what,
warning:
what the
do not
fuck?
give your info. Do not give your info on children's
Like,
game
what the fuck?
platforms.
Remember, kiddos, don't give your online information online. Play Fortnite.
Why are people having like online e-sex on fucking Club Penguin? Like, damn.
That was, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was like a little kid that was like, "Hey, this is how I'm gonna get it on with other Club Penguin babes." I don't
I
know.
lost my virginity on Club Penguin, guys.
It honestly sounds kind of ridiculous, like flashing the heart emoji. It's like watching like fucking Jellyfish Mate or something. It's
Maybe
ridiculous.
they were doing it in, or what if they're doing it like in like Morse code?
What?
They flash the hard emoji like 5 times.
Oh my god.
Oh,
But it
God.
was just,
You know what? I cannot judge them. I cannot judge the people doing that because, like, I remember once I was playing Minecraft and I joined a random ass server, like the most random server I could find with like a couple people. And next thing I know, I'm ordering a Minecraft hooker.
What the heck?
Whoa, whoa. Like, I get video games, like some video games are supposed to be like, you know, playing games is like a very social activity. Despite the stereotypes people make,
Social.
despite
Yeah,
stereotypes
with a big.
of people associating gamers as like reclusive, you know, quiet introverts, you know, playing games is actually a very social activity. But it's kind of a fucking shame to hear that this kind of shit is going down in so many different games. And it's like, you know, like, people can't do much about it. Like,
Yeah.
is the police department gonna make Club Penguin accounts and go fucking raid?
That's what the penguin
Role
secret
play, it'll be
agents
role
were
play.
for.
There's like sending cops through the Minecraft servers.
The Elite Penguin Force, EPF right there. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I guess like I'll pull out the window. I don't want to talk about this anymore. So low-key.
No, I know who they're gonna call. They're gonna call the Bully Hunters. That's who they're gonna call.
So I guess I'll talk about Wizard 101. I guess I could, now thinking about it in hindsight, I don't know how relatable this will be, but I don't know. When I played Club Penguin, I was like 10. I don't even know how old I was. I was like, I don't even know if I was in double digits yet. But with Wizard 101, I played it more when I was probably like 12 or 13. Yeah, I think I was like 12 or 13 when I really got into Wizard 101. That was like best game ever for me. It was that and Toontown. Like, it was so fun. Just spending every day after school or before school trying to get in like as many minutes as possible. And with Wizard 101, I guess like, I don't know, maybe I had some friend issues. I like got really connected to like my online, like, we never shared personal information or anything like that, but you know, you would log on daily and you would talk with your like online friend, right? You would like be like, yo, hello, like everything, let's like go do this battle or whatever, and you get really close with them. And there was this like one friend in particular, I was like a mega creep probably, but I just got so attached and I didn't know how else to show my appreciation. So like in Wizard 101 you buy like a house, and like I made like, there was this one room. So like, oh, and the point of the story is basically that I'm just trying to show how like it really did impact the way I made friends and like the way I showed my affection to friends when I was younger. But at the time I had no idea how else to like show my affection other than saying like, thanks for being my friend. So I remember like I made like the main like room that you would go, because I had one of the massive houses that had like multiple rooms, and the main room was literally, we'll call him like, I don't know, Real Gamer 28 or something, and I put like Real Gamer 28, well of course much shorter, and I like spelled that out of checker pieces that you could buy in Wizard 101. It took like days, I'm not even lying, and like I made this like almost like dedicated throne room, like I know it's so weird, but basically I think this Real like gamer like 28, he was older than me, like 15 or 16, And he really appreciated it at the time, and we only got closer. But then I can't remember what it was, but we got into like this massive fight. I don't know. I'm gonna ask like if you guys had any like fights with online friends and how that went. But it completely like wrecked me. Like we didn't unfriend, but we like never played again after that. And like I was so like I felt heartbroken. I was like I spent so I can't like I left the room there because I was like I spent so many hours on this. I don't want to get rid of it, and like it's still there actually. If I probably logged into the account, it's still there. But it's just like after that, I became a lot more closed in how I show my affection, and I kind of didn't really do anything like that again, or like anything where I'm giving things to friends. So I don't know. Like, did you guys ever have any like internet friend like fallouts?
I mean, like, I didn't really have any friends, period, but I've never really.
Here, man.
No, not as a kid. Well, I guess we are in a sense kids at heart, but no, I didn't have anything like that when I was younger.
Well, when I was younger, yeah, for sure, I had online friends that I play video games with. But I guess I didn't really ever have like a fight or anything like that go on with me. It's more of just life. I grew up in life. I had to move on, and I kind of just gradually talked to them less and less, spent less and less time with them because I had other things that I had to take care of besides sitting on my ass and playing games all day. So it's not like I don't appreciate like the time that I spent with like a bunch of online people playing games. It's more of just I had to just kind of start doing my own thing.
Man, I wish I could say that.
I don't think I ever had a online friend. I only had real life friends. I would just slowly lose touch with.
Oh, I'm
But these-
David.
but now
I'm
this
so
is not-
sad. I only have real life friends.
Yeah, I'm like, like who are you related to?
Seriously, bro? Seriously?
I used to have
Calvin's over here talking about he didn't have friends, and you're over here like, oh, I only have real friends.
Well, they're not there anymore.
I used to have a tight knit group. We used to be a gang, and the next thing I know, we all just split apart.
Oh, that's sad. Okay.
Nothing serious happened. We just all split apart. Then I was just a lone drifter for like 2 years until I met Elvin and you, Jason.
And the other guys.
Aw.
And we're kind of experiencing that again. It's difficult, but luckily we're at an age where modern telecommunications are much stronger and much faster, so it's not breaking apart as quickly as it usually does, and for that I'm very grateful.
Yeah, and you can always send them like tweets or like what is it called, DMs? I think it's DMs, and like what is the Facebooking? You can do that. You can do all these things. Sorry, I'm not hip with social media, so that's probably very obvious, but it's just nice. Okay, well, that's like enough with my stories. Da 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 da! Our guest speaker, David, you can introduce your Sonic topic. Woo!
Don't make it sound like I'm like I'm a Sonic, like a huge Sonic fan, and I have like 50 like Figments in my room. You make it sound like I'm like the Sonic fan who screams really loud. All right, well, personally,
Okay.
I grew up with Sonic. Always seen him as a father figure. I just your dad wasn't there. Oh,
Wait,
Oh
what?
my gosh.
I'm kidding.
That's the first thing you say.
I'm kidding. You'll have a real father.
Well, yeah, we know he's not your real father, David, but okay.
Okay, I used to spend a lot of time playing games, specifically Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Adventure Battle 2. Those were considered my favorite games as a kid. And they're still pretty high up there. Not the best, but they're still high up there.
What drew you to Sonic? Like, what's the stuff that really that keeps you playing?
Okay, well, let me talk about what initially brought me in was my brother would play it, and he'd get the game. I just leech off him and just play whatever he was playing.
That's
And keep me playing. Okay, I haven't played the most recent one. I feel like I'm not missing much. Keep me going is like that slimmer of hope that I'm gonna get that good feeling. Like in when Sonic Mania came, that just did like filled me with happiness. so happy in my life.
By good feeling, do you mean like that feeling that you got by playing with your brother, or what do you mean by that?
It's like having fun.
Oh, okay, just like okay.
It's like having fun. It's like a really good, like a mixture of fun, something a little, and something else that's magical that you just love, that just gets you to like, it's a fun. I'm having a grand old time.
Yeah.
Like
You
a
don't get
child.
that a lot from Sonic games.
Not in these recent years.
Yeah.
Up the
Sonic
next
Mania
game.
was good though.
Yeah.
Besides Sonic Mania, though, name one other like recent Sonic release that's actually good.
in my opinion, or in the general public opinion.
Both. First in your opinion, then the general public opinion.
Okay. I gotta say, in the Seven Rings, I like. It seems like Sonic's the type of game game series to really go out there with their characters. Like Sonic just fighting with a genie. It's very weird. I remember having a lot of fun with it as a kid, but I just can't remember any of the levels.
Yeah. Its level design is not all that great.
It just run really fast. You gotta do super quick time events. It was done.
Yeah. But what is really memorable about Sonic, and I think all of you will agree with me on this one, it's their music.
Exactly. One thing that's always will be consistent with every single Sonic game, it will have killer soundtrack.
Yeah. Like from the very beginning with Scrap Brain Zone, I think that was the crowning achievement for me for Sonic 1. Even the more modern games, which are rather lackluster in their gameplay and their story, they have fantastic tracks. like the theme for Infinite.
And even the main theme, Fistball.
Okay, so I hope that Calvin can edit this in, but for the remaining minutes of David's segment, we better have like those two, at least one of those soundtracks playing in the background lightly. That would be very nice.
Also play Studio Opposite Zone and Chemical Plant Zone. That's my favorite one. Oh no, actually play the Metal Sonic theme.
Okay,
Don't-
metal song theme it is.
And don't play it for longer than like 10 seconds or else we get copyright.
Oh, is that how it works? Okay.
Damn, you guys are really gonna
No,
have me
I-
working for this one, aren't you?
Sorry, Calvin. Yo, I'll Venmo
We love
you.
Calvin.
I'll take
We
you out
love
to eat,
Calvin.
dude.
Or fries.
Or
Anyway,
we'll bike together someday.
Don't worry, we'll
you're
save
gonna have to
save up
wait
money.
patiently for me to get this done then.
Wait, Calvin. You gotta get the freaking Silver Gunner ones. It's just like Totino.
No.
Yeah. No one will get
It'll
it.
take me forever to find good ones.
Don't worry, we'll save up a fund so Calvin can get a Pukumuku like doll fund, and we're gonna get that plushie for him with you guys' help. Just keep on listening, spreading that.
We're gonna get the life-size version, which luckily is the life-size version and not that big or expensive.
Oh, yo, and then he can hug that instead of his refrigerator sama body pillow.
It's literally like 6 inches. It's
No,
tiny.
listen. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, go. Sorry, David, we cut you off. You can keep on going.
Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about.
You want to talk about Sonic
Last
or
thing
the
I said.
movie or what?
Sonic movie.
No. I want to keep on talking about Sonic games.
Okay.
And one more thing, and another thing with Sonic, I used to play a lot of the Adventure Battle as well. At Sonic Adventure Battle with I brought in Shadow the Hedgehog, and to my eyes, when I was a little boy, he was the edgiest character I've ever seen.
Oh, Shadow's pretty cool. Yeah.
That was a cool character. He teleports, edgy, the tragic backstory, it's hitting all the marks.
This is like hilarious because I know that Jason has the exact opposite view, and it's nice hearing for once all the good points of Sonic.
Hey now. He mains Sonic, he knows.
No, I don't know.
Give it a chance. Just give it a chance.
At least play Sonic Mania.
Calvin, you know me playing Sonic and Smash Ultimate is a big fat joke.
It is awful though. It is awful.
What does he do? Does he just spam the B button?
What do you mean spamming the B button? There's only one thing that Sonic can do, and it's the homing attack.
I relate. Understand that. Wow. Yeah. David, you want to redirect us the conversation? You're in charge of your
Yeah,
segment.
you got the floor, bro.
If you're ready, you can just say that you can just say that you're finished.
Or
And,
like, I
that's
thought.
all I
Oh,
got to say.
are we not
Then-
gonna talk about the movie? Okay.
About to talk about the movie.
We can have
Okay,
we can have a separate podcast about movies.
I feel like if we do a separate podcast, I feel like we'll be splitting ourselves thin. You know what I mean? Like we'll be splitting up the topics thin.
No,
We'll
it's
do
a
it
different episode.
A different episode on
never
movies.
mind. I think like do a whole new series.
Yeah, different.
well, We'll still consider the idea of the macaroni and fucking barbecue sauce podcast.
Okay, I have no idea what
What
that's about.
is
But
the macaroni and barbecue sauce podcast?
It's a podcast it's a podcast for me and David where we talk about stupid shit like David's recipes for macaroni and barbecue sauce.
this is the first time I've heard of this.
It is not barbecue sauce. It's chili. All right. I just want him to try it. Like I said, it's a joke. Like it was at like late night after I'm done with one of my night classes. I was driving back home, going to the supermarket, and then I was like, "Yo, Calvin, what if I just make macaroni and cheese and chili, all homemade, like all homemade?" And the first thing I hear is like, "That's awful." I'm like,
That's awful. Calvin really do sound like that though. Not gonna lie.
Shut up, shut up.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, you don't hate it until you try it. I haven't tried it either, but then I was thinking about it, like, oh man, I really should make that. Then luckily I saw a video by Binging with Babish showing off how to make the sloppy Jessica, which is
It sounds like a war crime.
Yeah, I mean that's better than like peanut butter jelly and corn sandwiches. But regardless, that was a really nice plug-in for you guys. Okay, I didn't know you would throw in a plug-in there. But
If I can interject,
Not plug in if it doesn't exist.
if I can interject, I honestly thought that I was gonna have to cut all this out, but now we've got some really good dialogue, and I'm not sure if I want to keep it in because we've gone like way off topic and it gets kind of messy.
okay, even this
Alright.
part where we're talking about cutting it, keep it in.
You know what? It's honestly good. It's fucking nice.
What?
It's
Like-
fucking nice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it shows our personality.
Calvin swore.
I like
The
it.
first time on.
Yeah, don't cut this part out.
This is
Alright.
how the podcast should be.
Okay, so now as we are coming to a close, we're finally steering this to a close. I hope because it got me derailed. So let's pull it back in.
Let's pull it back together, y'alls.
Wow, I guess I just want to say, David, this was like wonderful having you as our first guest. We all appreciate it. It was so much fun. You just brought this kind of light to our episode, and I hope that we can have you in future episodes.
It was nice being here. This is something completely new that I have never done before.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. We're all newbies too, so
Thanks
don't
for the
worry.
support.
Yeah, thanks a
We
lot.
appreciate having you. First guest on the Spicy Noodles podcast,
Mhm.
Mr. David.
Yeah,
Alrighty
don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on our YouTube video.
Yeah, tell us about
Make
your
sure-
favorite video game and if it had any
And-
part to influence on your childhood.
And remember to follow us on Twitter at
Spicy and podcast. No, podcast noodles.
Podcast Noodles. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Podcast Noodles.
I'll put up a thing. I'll put up a thing.
Yeah.
What about hyperlink?
Mhm.
Can we get that in editing? Right here?
Yeah, make sure you leave that, like what Calvin said. Leave a message, a comment on your favorite video game and why. Great. So, we'll be heading out.
All right.
Closing.
I'm Calvin,
I'm Jason.
I'm Jinjie.
David.
and we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys
Bye.
next time
Yeah.
on the Spicy
Bye.
Noodles podcast.
Woo.
Bye bye.